Right now, we are living through one of the most explosive markets in history, and it's all being fueled by artificial intelligence. And, everyone is asking the same exact question. Is this whole thing the biggest financial bubble we've ever seen, just waiting to pop?
Mark Twain's famous line is perfect for this. I mean, we've seen this kind of mania before, right? From tulips, way back when, to the dot-com boom, you can almost hear the echoes. But this time, the tech, the sheer scale of it all, and what's at stake, it just feels completely new.
So, let's just call it what it is. Is this AI frenzy just another textbook case of speculation gone wild? Is this thing just going to blow up in our faces like all the others? That's exactly what we're going to figure out.
But here's the kicker. What if it's not just another bubble? What if, for the very first time, the hype is actually going to deliver on its world-changing promises? You see, this isn't just a story about stocks and money. It's a story about a transformation that could reshape our entire civilization.
All right, so to figure out if this time really is different, we've got to first understand the universal playbook, the script that pretty much every major bubble in history has followed, beat for beat.
Think of it like this. There's a bubble DNA. It turns out there are 3 key genetic markers that show up in every single major market mania. It doesn't matter if we're talking about flowers in the 1600s or internet stocks in the year 2000. The pattern is always there.
And here they are, the 3 big markers. First, prices go completely wild, soaring way beyond any real-world value. Second, everybody and their grandma starts speculating. And third, a massive chunk of the market's money gets crammed into one single super hot sector.
So let's dig into that first marker. This is the point where the story about an asset becomes way more important than the asset itself. And man, history shows us just how nuts things can get. During tulip mania, people were literally trading their houses for a single flower bulb. Fast forward to 2000, you've got companies like Pets.com worth billions just for getting clicks, while they were burning through hundreds of millions of dollars of investor cash. A total, complete disconnection from reality.
Okay, so we've got our historical checklist. How does today's AI frenzy stack up against this bubble DNA? Let's apply our little test and see what we get.
And here's our report card. Public speculation? Oh yeah, that's a red alert. It is through the roof. Market concentration? Even worse, it's at extreme, unprecedented levels. But look at that first one. Price disconnection. It's only a partial match. And that one little yellow warning light, well, that's the whole reason this time might actually be different.
And this slide right here shows you exactly why. Just look at Cisco back in 2000. Its stock price went vertical, just shot for the moon, while its actual earnings were totally flat. That's pure hype. Now look at NVIDIA today. Yeah, the stock has exploded, but its earnings, its profits, have exploded right alongside it. For the first time ever, we have a bubble that's being built on a foundation of massive, real-world profits.
But let's not get too comfortable, because those other 2 markers are flashing bright red. Today, the top 10 companies in the S&P 500 make up almost 40% of the entire index's value. That is the highest level of concentration ever. It creates this massive single point of failure. I mean, think about it. If these few giants trip, they could take the whole economy down with them.
And here's the rocket fuel. There is nearly $15 trillion sitting in passive index funds. This is money that automatically buys the biggest tech stocks to match the index, no matter their price or how they're doing. It's this structural shift that creates a constant, artificial demand, pushing those prices higher and higher and higher.
So even with all those extreme risks, there are 4 unique features that make this AI bubble a fundamentally new kind of beast.
So let's just put it all together for a second. We've got real technology that's making real money, unlike the dot-com era. The scale is bigger than any bubble in history. The concentration is completely off the charts, with NVIDIA basically holding a monopoly on AI chips. And on top of all that, passive investing has created a whole new market dynamic. This is not your grandfather's bubble, not even close.
Now here's where the story takes a really fascinating turn. We're all so focused on the crash, on the destruction. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if bubbles are actually these massive, chaotic, messy funding mechanisms for building the infrastructure of tomorrow?
Think about the dot-com crash. It wiped out trillions. But look what rose from the ashes. Amazon stock dropped 94%. 94%, but it survived to become a global titan. Google was started right on the edge of the crash.
And it built its entire empire on all the fiber optic cables that were laid during the bubble's frenzy. These companies didn't just survive, they used the rubble to build the world we live in today.
So if history is any guide, an eventual AI correction isn't going to be the end of the story, it's going to be the beginning. And that brings us to the future, and 4 pretty incredible scenarios for the world that could emerge from all this.
And these aren't just minor shifts. We're talking about potential rewrites of our entire economic reality. The first one is an infrastructure revolution, where this bubble funds the foundation for a new internet built on AI and blockchain. The second is a productivity singularity, where AI just unleashes trillions in economic growth, solving problems we thought were impossible. A third option? We could see a decentralized economy pop up, run by autonomous AIs. And the fourth scenario imagines this hybrid world, where our digital and physical lives finally just merge into one seamless reality.
And that brings us to the most important part of this whole discussion. The AI bubble is forcing us to move past the financial questions and start asking these profound questions about the future of civilization itself.
No, really, think about this for a second. If AI can do the work of millions of people and create unimaginable wealth, where does all that value go? Does it all just concentrate at the very, very top, or can we build systems that share it more broadly?
And as these systems start making more and more decisions for us in our economy, our government, our daily lives, how do we make sure that we humans stay in the driver's seat? How do we not become just passengers along for the ride?
This leads to the ultimate challenge. If AI can do most of the thinking jobs out there, the whole idea of work might change forever. We're going to need to invent entirely new economic models that give people not just money, but a sense of purpose.
So in the end, maybe we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. It's not about trying to predict the exact day the bubble will pop. All bubbles pop eventually. The real question, the one that's going to define our future, is what kind of world will we choose to build from the incredible technology that it leaves behind?